They were perfect together, and for one breathtaking moment, the whole world agreed. Then the darkness arrived uninvited. Green lightning, a curse. And where the prince had stood, something impossible now looked back at her. She stumbled, the world tilted, and the very creature she feared caught her before she could fall. Their eyes met, and something shifted that no curse could touch. The ballroom dissolved into golden light, and the pages of a story that was only just beginning slowly opened. The Frog Prince. A kingdom of breathtaking beauty rested at the edge of an ancient forest, where magic was old and promises were sacred. The sun itself was said to pause every morning just to admire what lay below. The king ruled with quiet fairness and raised his daughters with one iron principle: your word is your crown.
Every treasure in this castle can be replaced, every jewel, every title, every throne. But your word, once broken, it cannot be repaired.
He had given each daughter everything the kingdom could offer, except the right to break a promise.
He says this every single night. Maybe because we keep forgetting.
The youngest princess, Seraphine, was different from her sisters, not just in beauty, but in a quiet wildness that no castle wall could contain. She carried the weight of her crown like something she kept almost dropping on purpose.
Your sisters are practicing curtsies, Highness. Tell them good luck with that. Your father expects you at lessons. My father expects a lot.
Every afternoon she escaped into the forest alone, where the trees were older than memory, and the air tasted like something the world had forgotten to name. Out here, she was not a princess. She was just herself.
Finally, you never bow to me out here. You never ask anything of me at all.
At the very heart of the forest sat the oldest well in the kingdom, cold, deep, and said to have no bottom. Everyone avoided it, for those exact reasons. Which was precisely why she claimed it as her own. She thought she was the only one who came here. She was wrong. Something down there had been waiting, counting the days she came close, but never close enough. Tonight, she came too close.
What do these mean, I wonder? Something old is down there. Good. Old things keep better secrets.
She tossed the golden ball into the air again and again. The one game that needed no opponent, no rules, and no consequence. It was the only thing in her life that was entirely, completely hers. And then in one breathless, merciless second, everything changed. The ball slipped through her fingers, as if the well had been waiting all along for exactly this moment. The ball sank without a sound into a darkness that had no bottom and no mercy. For one terrible, suspended moment, the entire forest held its breath, as if even the trees understood what had just been lost.
Nobody gave it to me. Nobody assigned it. And now it's gone.
She wept, not the refined and careful kind of crying a princess is trained to perform, but the real kind, the ugly, private, honest kind that only escapes when you are sure no one is there to see it.
It's really just gone. Stop it. Crying won't bring it back.
The water stirred. Then from the deep, something rose. Slow, deliberate, and far too self-possessed to be just a frog. He looked up at her like he had been expecting her to come here his entire life.
What ails you, princess?
What?
Your weeping would soften stone. Stone is not easily moved.
She had been startled by many things in her life. Political marriages, her father's temper, her sister's gossip. But nothing had ever prepared her for a frog who spoke like a philosopher.
You can talk.
Talking is among the more modest things I do.
That's not normal for a frog.
Neither is what you just lost for a princess.
She told him everything without quite meaning to, pride and all. Because what was the point of dignity when your most precious thing was sinking in a bottomless well? He listened without interrupting, which was more than most people ever did.
It's the only thing I own that's truly mine.
Not a gift, not inherited, not assigned.
No.
He named his price without a trace of shame or apology. Companionship, a place at her table, a share of her meals, and a place to rest at her side. The request was either absurd or the most honest thing anyone had ever asked of her.
I'll dive and return your ball, but I name my price.
Name it.
Your table, your plate, your cup. A place beside you at night, not as a servant, as a friend.
You're serious?
I've never been anything else.
She made the promise with her mouth and abandoned it in her heart in the very same moment, telling herself it was harmless. He was a frog, the water was deep, and she would be home long before this became real.
Very well. You have my word.
Say it plainly. It's harder to forget that way.
I promise. Companion, table, plate, cup, all of it.
Good. Now watch.
The frog dove without hesitation, straight into the dark, without a moment of fear or second thought. He moved like someone who had made peace with the deep long before tonight. He broke the surface like a victory, ball in hand, water scattering like shattered glass around him. He had gone to the darkest place available and come back with exactly what he promised. The moment the ball touched her hands, the promise left her completely. She ran, fast and thoughtless, choosing relief over integrity without a single backward glance.
Princess, our agreement!
Thank you. Goodbye.
A king's daughter's word isn't so easily outrun.
Good night.
He did not shout after her. He did not rage. He simply sat in the dark, with the quiet certainty of someone who understood that some things cannot be outrun,
She will remember. They always remember.
only postponed. By the time the castle gates closed behind her, the forest felt like a story she had told herself, and the frog felt like a character in it who did not matter. She had the ball. She was home. She was safe. Or so she believed.
I got my ball. Perfect. Completely fine.
The knock came during the first course. 3 deliberate, unhurried strikes against the great diamond door. The whole table went still. Seraphine already knew. Every eye in the room found her at the exact same moment, and the weight of all of them together was heavier than any crown. Some debt still has to come in. They simply arrive. There was nowhere to go, and no story that would hold.
I can explain.
Then explain.
The ball fell in the well. A frog retrieved it.
And in return?
I made him a promise.
She told him everything, not because she wanted to, but because lying to this particular man had never once worked in her entire life.
A place at my table. My plate, my cup, my company. I didn't actually think he would follow me.
But he has.
He had a way of already knowing that made honesty the only option left.
Yes.
And the promise was your own free will.
Yes.
Then you will honor it.
She wanted to argue. She had a dozen arguments ready. He was a frog. She was a princess. The promise had been impulsive. The whole thing was absurd. But her father's eyes said every single one of those things already and dismissed them all. She walked to the doors like someone walking towards something she had been trying to outrun. Every step in the silent hall was another reminder that there are some things you cannot leave in the forest.
Good evening, Princess.
You came.
You made a promise. Did you expect otherwise?
I expected a frog who stayed in his forest.
I'm still a frog. I'm also someone who keeps his word.
The sight of him made her ashamed in a way she deeply resented. The frog entered the most elegant room in the kingdom, as though he had every right to be there, which technically he did. Seraphine followed, wishing for the first time in her life that the floor would simply open beneath her.
I'll need to be lifted. I can't reach the chair myself.
Don't make this worse.
I'm not the one making it anything.
She set him down beside her plate, like someone placing a problem they could not solve in the most visible possible location. He arranged himself with complete composure, as if this were entirely normal.
This looks exceptional. You eat well here.
I need more wine.
You promised me your cup too.
I'm aware.
I don't bite, princess. Relax.
He ate from her plate, with the same unhurried dignity he did everything else. She sat beside him in silence, reminding herself with every bite she took that she had done this, that the frog had not stolen anything.
You don't have to be embarrassed.
I'm not. I'm reflecting.
On what?
On the exact moment I stopped thinking things through.
She had handed him the key. When the last plate was cleared and the hall had emptied, the weight of what still remained of the promise settled over the table like a second meal nobody had ordered. There was one part left.
Lovely evening. Generous table.
Good. Then the promise is...
There's still the matter of your room.
Absolutely not.
Seraphine, a promise is whole or it is nothing.
She carried him up the great staircase in silence, each step a small act of surrender to the promise she had made. She had not known when she made it that she was also carrying herself somewhere new.
Remarkable stonework. How old is this castle?
Older than your well.
Thank you for carrying me. I know this isn't easy.
No, it's not.
She set him in the corner of the room with enough finality that she almost believed it would end there. The corner was not the bed. The corner was the closest she intended to get to honoring the rest of her promise.
There, the room, as promised.
The promise included the bed.
The corner is part of the room.
Princess.
You're a frog. A corner of a royal chamber is an upgrade.
His words had landed. She wanted to dismiss them, but they had already found the place inside her that knew he was right.
Half a promise is a whole lie.
That's an extremely irritating thing to say.
It's also true.
I know, that's why it's irritating.
You're not dishonest, you were thoughtless, those are different.
Half a promise is a whole lie. The words sat in her chest like something swallowed wrong. Something in his voice stripped the situation of its absurdity and left only the truth behind. She had made a promise, and she had run from it.
You've been waiting a long time? What happened to you?
Someone made a choice that trapped me in a form not mine. I've waited since for someone whose choice could free me.
What kind of choice?
He told her what had been done to him, not with bitterness, but with the steady voice of someone who had held his story carefully for a very long time, waiting for exactly the right person to tell it to.
I was a prince once, east of your border, arrogant. I wronged a woman with power I dismissed.
A witch?
She turned me into this. Said it would last until someone kept their word to me fully and freely, despite finding it hard.
And no one has, not yet.
She crossed the room, not because the king had told her to, not because the promise demanded it, but because somewhere between the well and the corner, she had made a decision about who she actually wanted to be.
I'm going to keep my promise. All of it.
Why?
Half a promise is a whole lie. I don't want to be a liar.
She placed him on the pillow and lay down beside him and stared at the ceiling for a very long time without saying anything. The room was quiet in a way that felt different from emptiness. It felt like something settling into place.
This is extremely strange.
Yes,
I'm still not comfortable.
I know.
But I'm here.
I know that too. That's what matters.
Sleep came slowly, and then all at once, the way it does after a long day of being more honest than you planned to be. The transformation did not announce itself with thunder or spectacle. It came quietly in the last dark hour before dawn. The light that filled the room felt less like magic and more like something long overdue. He was exactly as you would expect someone to look if they had carried enormous patience for a very long time.
Oh, it's finally over.
The prince had come back to himself. She woke into what appeared to be an entirely new problem, sat as far back as the headboard would allow.
Who are you? How did you get in here?
Seraphine, it's me.
That's not sufficient.
Look at my eyes.
Aldrich.
Hello, princess.
She looked at him, and the recognition arrived not in a single moment, but in layers.
You were really...
A prince. From Thornwall, east of your border.
And the curse?
Broken because you kept your word when it was hard, fully, freely.
The news arrived to the king the way all the most important news did. Before breakfast, via a servant who looked like they would have preferred to be literally anywhere else.
Your Majesty, there's a young man in Princess Seraphine's chamber.
Is there?
He claims to be a prince, from Thornwall.
And the frog?
That was the frog, sire.
Bring me my coat.
The king had lived long enough to be surprised by very few things. But the sight of a prince in his youngest daughter's room, where a frog had slept the previous evening, tested even his considerable composure. The king listened to Aldrich's full story with the focused attention he gave to things that actually mattered.
The curse needed someone to keep a hard promise fully and freely. 7 years, and no one had.
Until my daughter.
She came close to not doing it. She put me in a corner.
That sounds like her.
Yes.
They walked the castle halls in the quiet of morning and spoke the way people do after they have already shown each other something real.
What was it like, being like that for 7 years?
Cold, small, still, the well was quiet.
Lonely?
Yes. But the silence taught me things.
Like what?
That keeping your word costs something real. And that's worth a great deal.
In the courtyard below, waiting as he had waited every single morning for 7 years, stood faithful Heinrich, the one person in the world who had never stopped believing his prince would return.
My lord,
Heinrich,
I never stopped. Not one morning.
I know you didn't.
She had never seen anything like it. A loyalty so complete and so long-suffering that it had required iron just to hold the heart together. He looked back as the carriage moved, and she looked forward from the steps. And the look between them was not a farewell. It was the particular look that two people exchange when they already know the story is not finished. She came back to the well the next morning, not because she had lost anything this time, but because it was the place where something had begun.
He sat at the bottom of you for 7 years, waiting for one person to do one simple thing: keep their word.
Something had shifted in Seraphine in the weeks that followed. Not dramatically, not all at once, but in the steady, quiet way that real change actually arrives. The letter from Thornwall arrived on a Thursday morning.
I've thought about what you said, that the trees never asked anything of you. I hope you find the right people ask just enough to make you more yourself, not less.
They wrote to each other across seasons, honestly, at length, and without any of the performances that defined most royal correspondence. He came in spring, which she would think much later was exactly the right season. She took him to the forest because it was the truest thing she had to show anyone, and she wanted him to see it.
This is remarkable.
I used to come here, to get away from everyone.
And now?
Now I wanted someone to see it.
I'm glad you chose me.
And the golden ball went back to the well. Not because it was lost, but because Seraphine put it there herself. It was her way of marking the place where she had learned the most important thing she would ever know. Seraphine did not become who she was meant to be because a frog turned into a prince. She became who she was meant to be in the quiet moment before that. Alone in a room, no audience, no reward guaranteed. When she walked across the floor and chose to keep her word anyway. Your character is not built in the easy moments. It is built in the moment you feel the pull toward the convenient choice, and take the harder one instead. Keep your word when it costs you something. Show up when it is uncomfortable. Be the person who does what they said they would do, not just when it is easy, but especially when it is not.